PSA, we have a new auto rifle arriving this Tuesday at reset inside Destiny 2. It's called the Dark Decider, and it has unique perk combinations that we've never seen before on a 720. Technically, it is a reprised weapon. However, it's so much better than its predecessor with its origin trait and perk combinations that, honestly, there's no point in even calling it a reprised weapon. I really feel like it's a new weapon. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. In today's video, we're going to be going over the exact god roll of this weapon, why this weapon is so interesting inside Destiny 2, because Bungie definitely made a solid one with this. Let's go ahead and look at the exact god roll of it right here. We have the Dark Decider up. These are the exact perks I would go for if you want to use this in PvP. We will go over the PvE god roll because it does have some interesting rolls for that in just a moment. But right now we're going to go over this and compare it to the other current 720s in the game, because I think this thing will be able to compete not just against the other 720s, but I think that this thing could compete for a top 10 spot inside Trials. I think that people will actually be using this inside PvP and Trials. But we got the Skulking Wolf origin trait, which after its recent buff is really, really strong. An excellent origin trait. It also does have Vice Stinger, which is an excellent origin trait as well for PvP, and especially with an auto rifle when you're spamming so many shots. It has Rangefinder on it, which is the only 720 RPM auto rifle that can roll Rangefinder, so definitely a nod to that, and definitely makes it outclass the other auto rifles that are 720s. It also has Dynamic Sway Reduction, which is seen by most as being the strongest auto rifle perk, and you don't always see this on 720s because it makes them so lethal and so strong, because once this procs in, this weapon almost turns into a complete laser. So when you have laser plus maximum range, this thing is going to be nasty inside PvP. Then we have accurized rounds, we have fluted barrel. I would go with either stability or ranged masterwork. Doesn't really matter too much. And comparing this to the other auto rifles, you can see here we have the Arctic Haze, which does not have rangefinder. Honestly, doesn't have very many good perks at all. RIP the Arctic Haze. Then we have the Chroma Rush, which I personally love. I think it's probably the second or third best 720 right now, especially with this one, the Dark Decider, coming into the game. The Dynamic Sway kill clip roll being really, really fun. I love this thing. I use this thing regularly in PvP. Then we have the Sweet Sorrow, which will easily be the closest comparison to the Dark Decider because it's another 720 arc auto rifle. However, the difference is that the Sweet Sorrow does not roll Rangefinder and it does not roll Dynamic Sway Reduction. So unfortunately, not nearly as strong as Dark Decider in terms of PvP. Then we have the Crate, which also doesn't roll those perks. I do like the Crate, but it's not nearly as good. And then the last one is the Reckless Oracle, which its perk combinations are not nearly as good. So the Dark Decider definitely outclasses all the other 720s with its god roll, Dynamic Sway Rangefinder in PvP. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the PvE god roll, which is right here. We've got Volt Shot and Subsistence, and that combined with Vice Stinger means you're basically not going to have to reload that often. The only time you do reload is when you want to reproc Volt Shot. So this will actually be a decent auto rifle. Currently, we do have anti-champion auto rifle mods this season, so it might actually be pretty solid. You could also rock a golden tricorn roll, especially if you're using like Heart of Inmost Slight, Arc Titan, spamming those Arcnades. You might actually be able to keep the uptime for this pretty consistent, so that might not actually be too bad. But Volt Shot seems to be an interesting perk that a lot of people are chasing for. A lot of you out there probably are using the Icarus SMG with Volt Shot on it right now. But let me know your thoughts about this Dark Decider God Roll. Let me know your thoughts about Iron Banner's new mode Fortress. We'll be grinding that tomorrow. We will have skill-based matchmaking, so beware. And that's a wrap on this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Later.